Okay, guys, so I'm so excited to talk to you about the power of new appointments. And so, what I wanted to do was just help you to dissect your hot list today and where these three new power appointments can come from. So, I want to just quickly tell you about my emotions as a new consultant when I first got into this business. You get going and everybody's, well, nobody was helping me, but I would get going and then I would get all these cancellations. And so my emotions were like this. The best thing that my husband did for me was at one point, he was tired of hearing me whine and complain about everybody's canceling, nobody will book with me. He knew enough about this business to know that when I'm in the field and holding appointments, I make money, I get customers, and I get a reorder business. So one evening, he told me, he said, you get in that basement. He actually said, you get your butt in the basement down in your office, and you don't come upstairs until you have 7 new appointments on your date book. He literally locked me in the basement. So I go into my office and I forced myself to create a new aggressive hostess plan that I was excited about. And then we're gonna take it from there. I got 7 appointments, and it totally turned my business around. Okay. Now I wish I could tell you that it was uphill. It was uphill from there, and all the magic happened, and the moon and the stars aligned. There are always going to be pit, you know, peaks and valleys in your business because you deal with people and you deal with different seasons of the year. Okay. So you'll have a surge going into the holidays. Then the holidays will happen. And then everybody's like, whoa, what just happened? You know, we tapped out at Christmas. Then you go to the new year. And then the surge goes into the spring. And then it's happening. And then all of a sudden, boom, you hit July and everybody's vacationing. And then you get going again, this boom, school, back to school. And then you get going again, and then it's holidays again. And so you have to know with the peaks and valleys when to spin on a dime and when to change up your hostess plan. Okay. So we're going to talk about that in just a second. And so what I want you to do when you're in this business for the long haul, get emotionally stable so that one party that cancels doesn't make or break you, or one team member that fizzles doesn't make or break you. You just get to a place where you say, next, next. You're punching, you're punching out the bad guys and they're attacking you like a superhero movie. But when the peaks and valleys happen, you're ready for them. So this business is always going to be a journey. It's not a destination. And so when those cancellations happen and when those team members fizzle, you're okay and you're moving on. You're just saying no means next, no means next. Now here's the deal. One thing I do want you to know as far as like my journey with my when my first 30 when I became a sales director. And this goes back to that all happens because of your skincare classes and your parties. Your new team members come from your parties. And from my original 30, okay, that I finished and became a sales director with, I only have one of those left. But you know what? I'm successful despite those 29 that didn't stay the course. And so my point is you will keep going even when the people who were on board with you in the beginning, even if they jump ship, you have to be in this business for the long haul. Okay. And so you don't ever let anyone create your world. They're always going to create it smaller, and you should never give anybody that power over you. Okay. So let's talk about your hot list. So in the beginning, when you came into Mary Kay, you heard me talk about your hot list. Okay. And your hot list was everybody that you knew with skin. Okay. And remember, I told you to separate it A list and your B list. Okay. Your A list was going to be your people that totally intimidated you. Okay. And your B list was going to be the people that you, you knew they would help you no matter what. I can pretty much guarantee that for those people who are getting the cancellations, You're not getting people to, well, cancellations for one, not calling you back or not booking the appointments, not, when they come to your parties, they don't really buy a lot. They're probably people from your B list. Okay. And let's dissect that for just a second. So the women from your B list, those are probably, they're the people that know you the most or know you the best, love you the most. And usually they're the ones that want it for free or they want it for half price. And they've seen you at your worst. You've seen them at your worst. You've seen them at their worst. For just a second. We've got some noise.
Look up. So principal shuttle should be a shuttle. Just click on the
Just a second. You guys, if you do not have your mute on, please put your mute on. Because this is recording. Okay. Okay. All right, good. Thank you. All right, so your B list people. Hold on, I made some notes about your B list. So your B list, they're your go-to people. And those are the ones that are closest to you. Unfortunately, they're the ones that buy the least. They also buy the least and they cancel the most. So I want you to know that if this is happening to you, it's okay. Okay. Because we've all been there. So let's talk about your A list. Why start with your A list? Well, in the beginning of your business, I told you, I said, let's start with your A list because they're the ones that intimidate you the most. Losing my voice. Your A list is the one that intimidates you the most because probably they're the women of excellence. Guys, those are the women that are going to hold their appointment. They're going to buy more product because the fact that you came to them and you asked them to help you. Okay. Can I borrow your face? Can you get a couple of friends together? You know the script. Okay. And so starting with your A list, so going back with these power three bookings. And look, if you get three more. If you get 6, get 3 more, get 9. Keep going, okay? But at least fight for those 3 new power bookings from your A list, okay? So when you're booking from these people, they're the ones that intimidate you. They're the women of excellence. They're usually the sharpest people that you know. In your mind, you've already told yourself, they're not going to help me. Okay. But if you get 3 bookings from that A list, you're going to feel so empowered. The A list, they're going to bring A list people to their party. And so you're going to have a more successful party because they're women of excellence. They invite women of excellence. They hang out with women of excellence. Okay. And they don't know you from Adam. And so you go from that circle of influence. Okay. To now you're in the outer rim, and they don't know that you just started Mary Kay yesterday. They see you as a businesswoman. They respect you as a businesswoman. They like the product. They like you. They trust you. They buy from you and they book with you because it's the process. They don't that's why I knew not to start with my mom, my aunts, my sister. They all wanted it free or half price. And they knew that they canceled, like they would not hold their appointments. They would cancel. They didn't respect me. They didn't respect my business, and they didn't respect the process. You guys, I don't say this a lot, but when my mom finally held, and I don't like to talk bad about her because she's passed on, but when my mom finally did hold her appointment 14 years later, she had the nerve to ask me if I would hold her check that she was going to buy a complete miracle set for her neighbor named Michelle that she had a picture of in her living room of her neighbor Michelle and her daughter, and she was going to buy a miracle set for her, but yet I had to hold her check. Can you get any better than this? So this is the kind of people that's on our B list. And so that's why I had to start with strangers because I didn't want that disappointment. 14 years in, I just drove home from Alabama shaking my head like, are you kidding me? Where are the pictures of my kids like underneath her coffee table? So yeah, this is therapy for me talking myself through this. So that's what stop booking from your B list because there's going to be some good appointments. but start with your A list, okay? So these next three, the power three, I want you to muster up that energy and that confidence. And because in your mind, you already said they're not going to book with you. So you've already accepted it. So guess what? When they book with you, you're going to feel so empowered. All right, so your power three, okay, from your A list, I want to share how did I get the courage to book from my A list when I was working on a big goal? So let me tell you about a big goal back in 2008 that I was working on. So if you do the math, I've been in Mary Kay 7 years, okay, and I was finishing up my qualifications for my first pink Cadillac. I needed a big June, okay. And there are people from my A list. So at that point, once you've been in, your A list starts to be from people that were at parties that you met through hostesses. It wasn't even your original A list, okay? So you pick people that were at parties that you didn't book because you were still trying to build that relationship. So 2008, June of 2008, I was earning my first pink Cadillac. I needed a big June. I think we needed like $28,000 that month to finish the Cadillac. And I was going to do as much as I could. I mean, I could do all of it. I mean, you have no limitations when you're a sales director in your car qualifications. I came up with an aggressive hostess plan because an aggressive hostess plan empowers me. Okay. And I know it's going to empower you. And so I actually, for a long time, I changed my hostess plan every 6 months because it empowered me. Okay. And so we had these hostess gifts back then, and it was bathrobes, beautiful, thick, white, beautiful bathrobes. Okay. And you could buy them through Mary Kay on section 2 for $10. Well, I had this great idea. I went to my hot list on my A list. I'd written down everybody that was ever at any of my parties that totally intimidated me, but was sharp and that I never booked. And I contacted, and I said, I'm working on a big goal. Told him what my goal was, earning my first pink Cadillac. I need this many parties. Here's what you get. You're going to get this much in free product. I think it was like $100 for free when you party with me. When they had at least five, excuse me, at least five. That was pretty aggressive, okay? But I knew the power of my product. I knew the power of me, and I just needed 5 good people from my A-lister to get there because I knew I could justify what I was about to do. I gave everybody that came to the party a bathrobe because it was $10. And I thought, $50, I know I can outsell $50. I'm going to give her whatever. I was going to get recruits. I knew the power of my presentation. And so I booked 19. I held 19. I don't even remember what my sales were. But here's what happened. This is like y'all are gonna die. So I guess everybody had that same idea. So what happened was Mary Kay caught wind that we were, I guess, ordering those and giving them away like that. And she put limitations. You could only order 10 robes per every $225 order. Oh God. And I was like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? And so every time I had a consultant order, I would say, get me 10 robes. Here's the money. Get me 10 robes. Here's the money. Get me 10 robes. Here. I had robes coming out of my ears, but I held 19 parties in the month of June. And I earned my first pink Cadillac. And so if you are looking at snow blindness on your date book, okay, change your hostess plan. Okay. Figure out what your numbers are, figure out what you're willing, how aggressive. Talk it over with me. Talk it over with Marianne, if she's your sales director. Let's figure out what you're averaging at your parties and what it's worth to get in front of that woman of excellence, that A-lister, and knowing that she will invite A-listers. So because it gives you courage to book her when you feel empowered by the strength of your hostess plan. Okay. All right. So now Hang on just a second. Gosh, I've gone through, am I skipping my notes here? All right. Ask yourself, so let's talk more about your hostess plan. Would you cook and clean for your own hostess plan? If if you're not excited about it, it's not going to empower you. I hope that that's the point that I'm portraying to you. Okay, and then confidence and have confidence in your products. Okay, skincare, skincare, skincare. So this is going to go back to what we were talking about earlier before we hit record. If you're in your 20s, get out of your head that you're going to make it big with just glamour. You're not. Okay. Skincare is our bread and butter. It will always be our bread and butter. That second glamour appointment is just the vehicle to book that second appointment to meet that person that you met at that skincare party's friends. Okay. It's the vehicle. Lipstick is the vehicle to get you to more skincare customers. And then it's the full circle success. If you haven't read Mary Kay's autobiography, you've probably never heard that statement, full circle success. What is full circle success? It's book, coach, sell, recruit, book. Okay. Book, coach, sell, book, recruit. That's the order. Book the appointment, sell the product, or coach the class, sell the product, book the second appointment, recruit the hostess and a person at the party. Two, you want to book two, recruit two, book two, recruit two. That's what Mary Kay would say. Don't just take a piece of the pie, take the whole pie. Okay. So if you've got 100 customers that are buying one glamour item from you, you're doing yourself a disservice. You're doing your business and yourself a disservice. Skincare, you get 100 people on skincare, it will change your world. It will completely change your business. You will get team members because of this skincare. You will not get team members because of an eye primer. You will not get team members because of a sunless tanning lotion. You have this business is we're famous for our skincare. Okay. This is what changes. Skincare changes everybody. Skincare changes faces. Skincare changes lives. Okay. Now we're going to start a face race December 1, okay, where you're going to track your faces and there's going to be a cash drawing. And so from these bookings, that can be your script. Your scripts can change too, okay? So your scripts can be, hey, I'm working on a big goal. There's going to be a cash drawing at the end of December, and I'm trying to get my name in there as many times as I can with new faces. So for every new face you do, you get an entry into this big cash drawing. It's going to be a $500 cash drawing. It might even be more. And so at the end of the month, for all the new faces, your names goes into a drawing. And on December 31st, we will draw for the cash prize. So the more new faces you do, the more more entries that you get, and the better your chances of earning that cash drawing. Okay. So let me read my notes here. I do not want to skip over this. I think I have, oh my gosh, I have more pages. So you are not, hold on, great customers make great hostesses. You're not going to know who your 100 customers are. This is important. You are not going to come into this business knowing who your first 100 customers are. I guarantee you who you think they are. It's not going to be the case because most of you are thinking from your B list, okay? So it's your A list that's going to find you your 100 great customers. That's what's going to get you your free car. That's going to get you to become a sales director if that's what you want. It's that outer realm. Okay, not your inner circle, it's your outer realm, booking outside that comfort zone. So you build to 100 from the bookings. You trust the process. 3 parties, your 3 power parties. You book 2, that's going to turn into 6 power parties. Two bookings from each of those. Oh my gosh, that even doubles it, right? Yeah, that turns into 12. It multiplies, it snowballs. And that's the power. Booking is a skill. This is a skill-based business, and booking is a skill. Once you own the skill of booking, you're home free. You're home free. You could do this business anytime, all day long, year after year, month after month. That's why I've been in for 22 years. I own the skill of booking. Okay. At any point in time, I can get back in the field and get as many bookings as I want. Right now, I'm in the field with my consultants. but I can stop and get back out in the field. I come in and out of the field. That's the job of a sales director. Okay. Now, a good script, you're going to need a good script to go along with your great hostess plan, your aggressive hostess plan. If you're going to be booking your power 3, you know what? You want to get even more aggressive, do a power 5. Okay. So a good script, you change your words, you'll change your world. You guys have heard me say that on many videos that we've done. But if what you're doing right now, nobody will book with you. That's like trying to ride a dead horse. Okay, you have to dismount. You have to dismount. You're not going anywhere. Change your words and change which side of the list you're working on. Go from the B list to your A list. Okay, you have to dismount that dead horse. All right, almost finished. And sometimes you just have to ask. You just have to ask. You work the numbers. It's magic. It's not magical. It's mathematical. And if you're like me and you're brand new and you literally didn't have anybody, okay, you didn't have anybody. You got to do your vendor booths. You got to do your facial boxes. And you got to start with one name at a time. I started with 9 names. And luckily, they all 9 booked. That's a miracle because you don't usually book 100%. It's usually 1 out of 4, okay, from your vendor events, facial boxes, usually 1 out of 4. Your referral sheets is 1 out of 20 from that first point of contact. You have to know your numbers. And then book those green cards. So if you're on here and I've done parties for you, you have green cards where everybody wrote either meet or free on the back. So they want a one-on-one or they want a facial. Now, I bet you that you can call the ones that said just me and get them to share it with one person. One person. Okay. Double that. Double that. You got 2 people, double that. And so you just got to fight for those new faces. Okay. I had to do that. So we talked about booking as being a skill. It's like riding a bike. Once you learn how, you'll never forget how to book appointments. And you fight for those 3 and then get ready for December 1 for the face race to launch and the cash drawing. You're going to hear more about that later. All right. So Marianne, do you want to share anything really quickly? I went 5 minutes over.
I'll be real brief and everything.
Okay.
Michelle and I are different, and so I love that we can complement each other in different ways. And so for me, whenever I get in the places where I had a lot of cancellations, or maybe I wasn't consistent, or I didn't follow up with some things, number one, I always look at my mindset. And so I have learned to take personal responsibility. I don't ever put the success of my business on people aren't booking with me. I don't ever put it on anybody else. I put it on me and I say, well, who else can I ask? Where else can I ask? And everything. So I get in my mindset. I also ask myself, what was I not willing to do before? And I get real honest with myself. And because when I get into desperate modes, for different reasons, whether it's a goal or, this provides for my family, then or when I have a big goal, like earning a car, I start doing things that I just wasn't willing to do before. It's not that I couldn't do it. And so I also trained my brain not to say I can't do something in this business. I've learned to be honest with myself and say, you know what, honestly, you just weren't willing to do it at that time. And so that's the power of having a goal and a why, is because it helps you get over yourself and your unwillingness to do what you just really need to do. So I talk to myself, I coach myself, saying things like, I can do this. Who can I ask? When you ask yourself questions, it opens your brain into figure it out mode. Okay. And so I've learned to train my brain to ask myself questions. And then I do what I've been trained to do, this kind of stuff. I go back through my profile cards and look and see, was there referrals that I never called? I look on those, those fabulous sheets and be like, did I call everybody? Did I follow up with them and call them like 2 or 3 times? Like we talked about the 21-day challenge, or, following up with people multiple times. I go through, I have a booking journal to help me keep track of all that. And so whenever I reach out to somebody, I write their name down, and then it says like contact 1, 2, 3, so I can see where I'm at in that conversation. The big X means they said no, or like I went through the list and they never answered, so then they're off the list. Is there any spaces in here where I just didn't finish the conversation, or I just need to follow up again? So that really helps me. I go through that. I start thinking, going through my phone, now that we do virtual, there's people on my phone I haven't asked yet. And then I think, okay, what would be a great way to get in front of them? What is the booking script? And that face race is a great one to reach out to anybody you haven't booked yet. I go through my different circles, like my kids' friends, my cheerleading, or my coaching, or my church, or like this mom group, or this Facebook group, or whoever, like all my different associations that I just haven't thought of at one time, but now I'm remembering them later. Asking myself, why would they need to book? Sweeten the deal. Consider their personality. If they're not a huge party person, I love that. Just asking that one person who said, I just want to do just you and I, it's fine. And then asking them again later, say, who do you know who would really love, or who could really use some pampering, who could use that encouragement? And then after I've gone through all of that, and if I'm still needing more, then it's like, okay, time to get the facial boxes out, time to get the vendor events again. And then knowing and warm chattering for me, which is just going out, and as I'm doing my day, dressed nice, looking the part, attracting people to me, wearing my name badge, having a sample, offering them a free pampering session, and getting their phone number. You have to get their phone number. Do not give out samples or cards without getting their phone number, else it just be given away. And knowing that when I put those vendor events in those facial boxes, that there's going to be some time in between when it actually happens. And so you got to plant those seeds, and just know that that's going to take some time in between that event. I also ask myself, am I the image that attracts people? Why would they want to book with me? Am I using my skincare? Am I washing my face twice a day? Am I putting on some makeup? Am I fixing my hair? Am I getting dressed? So when I'm out and about, if you're not dressed right now, please don't feel bad. Okay, like we know we're filming. We did this on purpose. It's okay. We don't. Y'all, I've got my jammies on. I'm about to like roll into bed right after this. But when I get up for the day, I get up every day, and I have to be ready, and there's simple ways. I don't do everything full out, even if it's just, I put my hair in a low bun, and I do foundation, under eye corrector, mascara, do my brows, put on a bright lipstick and earrings. It takes 10 minutes, but it looks amazing, because sometimes your cancellations might be that you don't look the part, and people are looking at you like, does it really work? And even if you're brand new, you can still look the part, and so yeah, there's that. And that's it.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's stop recording, and let's see if there's any questions.